Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This video is going to be all about this truck right here, F250 Tremor. I'll get into some details in a little bit, but I'm talking about the 7 things, the top 7 things, the 7 things I love most, the 7 things I love. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but the 7 things I love about the F250 Tremor. If you guys love this video, maybe I'll do a 7 things I hate about it after. Let me know down in the comments below if you're into that. A little bit of backstory real quick. I'll put chapters down here so you can click around or whatever you care about. This truck, myself and Diamondback Truck Covers is giving away. We're raffling it off actually to help put an end to human trafficking, right? So it's super cool. I have a video explaining all of that on my channel. I'll link to it up here if the cards work for you. And in that video, I talk about all the mods on this truck too. It's super modified. This video is not going to be talking about any of the modifications really though. It's just talking about the base truck because a little bit more backstory. People know me probably a little more for my Tacoma. Actually for Toyotas in general, I have a couple old Land Cruisers. Ashley's got a RAV4 and whatever. Small truck, other cars. I also have a van back here, but this is the F250 Tremor. I've had it now for about 9 months, I think. So enough time for me to kind of form some thoughts, talk about what I absolutely love about the truck because I have really, really enjoyed this truck. I'm going to be really sad to see it go, but it's getting given away. Again, I'll just remind you if you missed the video, end of February. We're probably going to open raffles for it. December, maybe, of this year. We're not sure exactly yet, but given away in February. So this truck could be yours. So without further ado, we'll get in to some of the things that I love. So one thing I love is power. And this has the 7.3 liter gas V8 engine. This is a 2020 F250 Tremor. And this is just gobs of power. If I had the diesel, it would have gobs more, twice as much torque on the diesel. So coming from a Tacoma where I feel like it's a little underpowered, and my Land Cruisers which are way underpowered, and the RAV4 which is underpowered, and this van right here which is underpowered, this is actually a huge breath of fresh air. Driving it is amazing. So it's a big beastly truck. I'll kind of get into some other things I really like about that just in a second. But it turns these 39-inch BFG KM3 tires like no problem. There's no gears, there's nothing on it. So the truck just has power for days. Like I never feel like, man, I just wish I had more power like I am constantly in the Tacoma. Even though I love the Tacoma, guys, don't worry, I love that Tacoma. I love the power in this thing. So it just, hills, whatever. You guys love to hear it. I live up in the mountains of Colorado, and driving up these mountain roads, high elevation and stuff that really eats your power. And this, I've never felt like it didn't have enough power. Towing, driving regular, off-road, that low-end torque, and just crawl over things with those big tires. It's a dream to drive. And this is kind of a number 2. It kind of goes hand in hand with power, with just tons of power. It's a big truck. It's an HT truck meant to do big things, you know, tow 15,000 plus pounds. But with the power, there's an awesome transmission here. It's a 10-speed transmission. By the way, like this, I'm realizing now, this sounds like I really love Ford or something. I have no ties. I have no connections with Ford. I'm not getting any money off of this video. There's nothing there. Clearly, I like my Toyotas, but I've always liked Ford too. So just in case you're wondering, because as I'm talking about this, I'm like, man, this 10-speed automatic transmission is just awesome. No affiliation with Ford. But the 10-speed auto is awesome. So I'm pointing right here while I'm talking because, again, 39-inch tires. A lot of people have asked, have you geared? Have you needed to re-gear? Have you needed to do anything? And the answer is no, I haven't. The 10-speed auto handles this like a dream. I'll get a little bit more at the end on this little app you can get called FORScan. You can kind of modify some computer stuff with that, but I'll talk about that at the end. Power plus 10-speed auto. Awesome. That was kind of point 2, but it's kind of related to the first point. And so another thing, point 3 we'll call it, is just the payload capacity. I'll kind of rope in towing with this as well. Obviously it's an HT truck, it's F250. It's meant to tow. Yes, it can tow. But for my purposes, kind of like overland, camping, off-roading, payload is where it's at. So you have a Tacoma, it has like less than 1,500 pounds of payload. Almost any vehicle people are like overlanding these days. Maple. My dog Maple has such an embarrassing bark. Anyway, payload. So like my Tacoma has like, I think 1,300 pounds of payload or whatever. Without anything in it, I'm pretty much over payload. Granted, I've modified the suspension and some other stuff, so it's kind of maybe up from there, but technically the payload is low. The payload on this truck is like 3,000 pounds. It's a Tremor. You can get them optioned up for even more, 4,000, 4,500 pounds, I think, and then, you know, it goes up from there, F350, F450, F550. But I'm talking about this because I can just put all the gear in it. I can put massive tires, I can put a tent, I can put a Diamondback truck cover, I can put a rack, I can put all the lights, I can put fridge, cargo slide, fill it up with all my camping gear that I would ever want, mountain bikes, whatever. And I'm not even getting close to maxing out the payload, which is nice. Which means the axles are meant to kind of handle that. It means the brakes are meant to kind of handle that. The suspension, the frame, everything is meant to handle these big loads. And when you kit it out like this, you're adding more weight to the vehicle, obviously. And I'm not worried about it at all. Like, I'm always worried about things on my Tacoma, like aluminum this and lightweight that and carve out some pounds here, and I can't add that because it's too much weight. I don't got to worry about that with this. Now, this next point isn't at all unique to the F250 Tremor, anything like that. And I hear it already. My car has that too. Yeah, cool. But I'm talking about things I love about this car. So this is a Lariat. It's like a mid, even low mid optioned up Super Duty. And it's got tons of amenities. I'm actually gonna talk about amenities a little later, but I wanted to throw this in here because I love it so much. And it's actually the first vehicle I've owned that has had these two features. And that is heated seats, which I've had vehicles that have had heated seats, but cooled seats too. So you can get it with cooled seats. If you option this baby up to a Platinum, you can get it with massaging seats, which is crazy. And then a heated steering wheel, which Ashley's Rav actually has a heated steering wheel, but I've never had a heated steering wheel on a car. And let me tell you, like, living in Colorado, it's my favorite feature. Like, I will have a hard time ever buying a new car again that doesn't have a heated steering wheel. So I wanted to call out those two options by themselves. There's nice little switches, which I'll get into later. But heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel, which some of those kick on. Well, it has a factory remote start as well. Just, you know, click lock or whatever on the key twice, and it remote starts, and that'll kick on my heated steering wheel, which gets hot really quick. And I don't know, maybe I'm just poor by only having these features now, but I love them. So one more thing I love is knobs, dials, buttons. It does have nice touchscreen, and I can do all the touchscreen stuff through here, but I just love having knobs and buttons for things. I like being able to volume up, volume down, tune. I like being able to manually adjust the fan speed on this. I like buttons. I'm glad that the Ford trucks haven't done away with buttons yet. In addition to all these other buttons over here, we got buttons galore all over this thing. And that may seem like a funny thing that I love, but a lot of newer cars are kind of doing away with buttons and dials and knobs, and I love that this still has them. So another thing I absolutely love, again, coming from a Tacoma, is this massive back seat. So this seat is actually, the front seat here, if you can see it, is actually pretty far back. It's electronically controlled to when I start the car, it adjusts, the electronic seat goes forward. So when I'm sitting in this driving, I'm 5'10", I'm not a huge guy, but when I'm driving, the seat is actually the seat is pushed forward even more. And you can see, like, there's just tons of room back here. Tons of room back here. And granted, I'm not back here much, but if you have backseat passengers or kids or dogs or whatever, you're really gonna love all this room. All this room. It's insane, the amount of room in this back seat. It's awesome. And granted, this is nothing new. And then for those that don't know, F150 and an F250 have pretty much the exact same interior. So this back seat legroom is the same on an F150 as well. And it's pretty similar for any full-size truck, but again, coming from a Tacoma, it's just like so big. I love it. In addition, the seats are pretty cleverly designed. As you fold them up, this pushes back, So they tuck in here really nice. I have a bunch of storage back here, but if you need to move something, this goes flat, which I'll talk about probably a little more in a second, but you can fit a ton of stuff back here. So this next one's gonna kind of be cheating. This is technically the 7th thing I love, and it's just the features and options and amenities that you can get on these big trucks. So I'll start here with the factory. These are factory LED headlights. They're like the quad beam LED headlights or whatever, and they're incredible. The daytime running lights are super bright, look awesome. The low beams are incredible. The high beams are amazing. Best headlights I've ever had, honestly, and they're just factory headlights. They're even blacked out inside. Like, they look like aftermarket headlights. They look so nice. Speaking of blacking out, you can get, like, it's called a bunch of different things, the black appearance package, the sport pack, whatever. You can get black grille, even black Ford logo, which was like the first time Ford's ever done that in the history of anything. It's just blacked out everything, which is awesome. So as we go on with the amenity dumps here, we have power, all kinds of power. So we have a household outlet here, 110, cigarette lighter. Down there we have USB, USB-C. This has Apple CarPlay, all that stuff. There's more power in here. I'll get to this in a second actually, but power in there to power the fridge, a center console fridge, and tons of storage. So I put this fridge in, which again, I'll talk about in the end, and you lose your center console storage. But a lot of people were concerned about that, but I'm not at all. You have big cubbies here, you have cubbies here, quad cup holders. This thing is awesome. 2 cup holders, slides open. This side over here will accept a huge Nalgene bottle, more cup holders in the back. Awesome. Huge glove box here, and also a second glove box up above. So you get 2 glove boxes in the Super Duties. Sorry, focusing is having a hard time. And then you have tons of storage over here. Huge map pocket. I mean, these doors are huge. So you can just imagine a massive door with a full length pocket. Another pocket up here. Shout out, got a new patch at Overland Expo, was in there. And more storage. I mean, huge, like full length map pockets here. Again, storage here, you can tell. I utilize my storage space a bunch. Plenty of room under the seats. You got pockets on both behind the chairs. You technically can have some storage behind the seats, but I don't even utilize that because there's so much storage under the seats. So much storage here. And this stuff right here is super cleverly designed. This whole thing, I have a bunch of stuff in here right now. Shout out to Dark Angel Medical for hooking that kit up. But so much stuff here. If you take all that stuff out, this whole thing folds flat. Like this whole storage box that tucks nicely under the seat. And when the seats are down, you can lock them. So this is basically lockable, not super secure obviously, but lockable storage under the seats. But if you don't want to use it for storage, or if you just need to transport something big, take all this stuff out. This folds flat, and this whole loading bay basically is flat storage. It's awesome. And then power, talked about it a little bit before. We have another household outlet back here, 110. We got USBs, we got rear heated seats. I didn't even mention it earlier. More power, like all the power that you could ever want in the back seat as well. And that's not it. You think that's it for storage? It's not. We got more storage here. This is in the side of the center console. I don't know, my camera sucks so bad. More storage. I mean, there's just so much storage in this thing. Oh, even more up here. Look at this. This is a 67 Designs accessory and phone mount, but you got actual usable little spot. You can put more stuff up here. The other thing that's nice, you can get a factory upfitter switch package. So those, I'm not gonna get too into details, but they're different amperage ratings. Some you can use when the battery's on or off or whatever. But if you get that package, the auxiliary package, then you get dual batteries. And yeah, a lot of big diesel engines come with dual batteries already, but this is the gas engine. It doesn't come with dual batteries by default, but this has dual batteries and dual alternators from the factory. And then other stuff, you want a pano moonroof? You got it. Full moonroof, backseat moonroof. Sweet, only the front opens, but You have glass all the way, power sliding rear. And then one other nice thing you get from the factory is lights galore. There's lights here. There's lights that shoot out of here. Well, out of here really. So like basically ditch lights from the factory, separate control to control those. These puddle lights are incredible. And you even got one more light back here. This light doesn't look like much, but it illuminates the whole ground at night. Sweet. And like I said before, this is some leftover stuff from Overland Expo. This is like a mid, even like a low mid spec truck. This can be optioned up again, massaging seats and just everything that you could ever want. That's what's cool about this. This is Ford's premier, this is Ford's baby. The F-Series trucks are their babies. So they're nice, super nice. All right, so I think we did 7. I mean, it's probably like 40. But those are kind of the 7 things. I kind of grouped amenities and junk into one thing. Those are like the 7 things I really like about this truck. So now we're kind of getting into the bonus stuff. So it's a big truck. This kind of goes without saying. It's got a big truck bed. This is a short bed. You can get an 8-foot bed, obviously. This is the short bed. This is a 6.75-foot bed. A little bit bigger, and I like it because the iCamper Skycamp 2.0, the full-size, king-size bed iCamper, is like a perfect fit for it. The Ford beds, the Ford short beds on the Super Duties are just a little bit longer than like the Ram beds on the equivalent HD Rams. Huge truck bed. Yes, obviously, Mike, thanks for that. Huge truck bed, but worth noting, massive truck bed. Really cool. And now we'll just kind of get into some random stuff. So Ford's F-Series truck, again, this sounds like a Ford ad. It is not, unless Ford, seriously, hit me up. You can sponsor this video after the fact if you want. But F-Series trucks are like Ford's bread and butter. They are the #1 selling vehicle, not the #1 selling truck, the #1 selling vehicle in America for like, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I think like 30 years, maybe 40 years. So this is Ford's pride and joy. And I only mention that just because there are so many of these on the road that aftermarket support's pretty good. So obviously I've done a lot of modding to this, and when Diamondback and I partnered with this, they said, pick any truck you want, and I was like, Ford F250 Tremor, boom. Don't even gotta think about it. And part of that was because I knew there'd be a lot of aftermarket support for it, so I can racks and covers and everything, I can get stuff for it. So it's really cool, because if you wanted to do a lot of the same stuff on like the HD Chevy platform, there just wouldn't be as much out there. For instance, right now anyway, this is probably going to change depending on when you watch this video, but Dometic makes a refrigerator, cooler, whatever they want to call it, cooling box, I don't even know. It's called the CCFT. I'll show you it. So this thing here, and I seriously don't understand how these dogs can bark so much. Right in here, center console, let me zoom out. So this big, comfy, beautiful, right here, there's a massive center console by default. Bunch of storage options in there, it's cool, but like I talked about earlier, this truck has no shortage of storage. So I opted to swap that out and swap this in. This is a cooler. This is powered by the cigarette lighter that's inside of here. So it turns on with the truck and it turns off with the truck. And it actually stays on for like 2 hours after you power the truck off. It has like low voltage protection on it, so you don't gotta worry about it. What that means is this keeps stuff cold. So for instance, when I go mountain biking or whatever, I put some cold drinks in here and I go ride the trails, come back a few hours later, and I pop this open and I have a cold drink right here. And even though I have like portable fridges and batteries and all that stuff, I don't have to use it because I got everything I need right here. And it's probably one of my favorite mods. I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite mods. It might be my favorite mod on this truck. I love this thing. I'll link to all this stuff down below in the video description as well. But this, again, we were talking about aftermarket support. Dometic, I believe, is coming out with this with a couple other models. But right now, for instance, they made it for the F-Series trucks because they're the #1 selling trucks. So again, F250, 350, 450, they're all the same interior as the F150 basically, except the new model year. The 2021 F150's changed obviously, and the Super Duties lag behind, so they'll be the same eventually. But right now this fits up to I think it fits up to a 2021 Super Duty and up to a 2020 F-150. So this last thing I'm gonna be talking about, I have no affiliation with them. It's FORScan. And I'm not telling you to do it. I don't know, warranties or whatever. This isn't a tutorial on how to do it. I'm just telling you about it. So before I got the Ford, I had no idea that FORScan existed. So FORScan is basically a thing. FORScan sounds kind of funny if you say it too fast. FORScan's a thing. You need a Windows laptop or whatever, and you download it. You pay for a license. You hook it up to your car, and I think you can do it on all Fords pretty much. But you can basically change a bunch of modules. A computer, ECU, engine. Your vehicle's computer is composed of a bunch of modules. These modules control various aspects of the vehicle. You can come in and you can change a bunch of settings, and there's a bunch of forum posts and a bunch of YouTube videos on FORScan, but you can change settings. So like this truck, by default, it's a big heavy duty truck. It wanted like 80 PSI in the rear tires or something. That's way beyond the rating of these 39-inch tires. So I went in FORScan and I changed that value. So now I can change it to where the low pressure monitor doesn't alert me, so I'm not driving around with low pressure tire sensor on all the time. So I changed that down to like 40, I think, or 45, I don't know. But you can change settings like that. You can change how long your, when you tap your turn signal and it like goes 3 times, you can change that. I changed it to 7 because 3 is never enough. I'm a very polite merger, so and then I want 7. So I changed it to 7. You can change it to 20 if you want. But there's all kinds of like really, really cool settings you can do, kind of hack your vehicle. And I had no idea this existed. I don't think there's anything like that for Toyota really that's like super user friendly anyway, but you can change all kinds of stuff with FORScan. Again, not telling you necessarily need to do it, but kind of if you didn't know that existed, it exists and you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So yeah, I think that's it. So those are the 7, maybe 70 things that I really like about the F250 Tremor that I have. And I hear it already. Mike, now you're a Ford guy. I thought you were a Toyota guy. Well, I'm not really I'm Mike. I'm a Mike guy, and I love Toyotas. Actually, I may be adding another Toyota to the fleet. I had a daily drive. Okay, so that's about it. For those that don't care about me or my channel or what I drive, whatever, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you want to see 7 things I hate about this truck. I'd appreciate it. Get subscribed if you want to. I do a bunch of truck stuff and off-road type vehicles, and there's a whole playlist on the Ford that I'll link up here. Check my channel. Cool, thanks for watching. And then for those people that like that know who I am, Mike, so I don't even know if I should talk about it because I haven't bought it yet. I might not buy. I might back out of it, but I'm kind of excited about it. I'll tell you later. This is gonna you're gonna want to know what it is. But basically, I have this old Audi that's my daily driver, this 2004 Audi A4, and I like it. It's a good car, but as with Audis, you can have some mysterious problems. So that thing's been in the shop for a month now. A mechanic, super trusted, great guy, cannot figure it out. He's just like this Audi crap. He's like Audi specialist too. And he's like, in my 25 years, I've never seen it. So I kind of like having a winter vehicle that I put like all-wheel drive, that's all-wheel drive, and I put snow tires on, dedicated snow tires. Granted, the BFG KO2s do pretty good for an all-terrain, but they don't touch a dedicated snow tire on an all-wheel drive vehicle. So that was like my all-wheel drive vehicle when I needed to drive in the snow or whatever. I just needed to go park at the airport, and I didn't want to park this thing at the airport or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to get this thing fixed, and I'm probably going to sell it because I placed a bid on this car, a really low bid on this new car that will probably replace it, and I really didn't think I would win it, and I did. So I was kind of like in a pickle when I bought it because I really wasn't planning on it. I was talking to a buddy, and one thing led to another, and he wanted to get something. He wanted to get the newer, nicer version of it, and I got the older, junkier version, high mileage version of it. But I was like, if I'm going to have an all-wheel drive vehicle that I put dedicated snow tires on, it might as well be a vehicle that like fits me. Like it's an LLOD vehicle. So I may buy it. You'll probably get an update video in a few weeks or something if I do. And it's bone stock. And I'm going to keep it relatively stock. But I'll probably like look for some input. What should I do? Comment down below, that kind of stuff. But anyways, again, this may turn into a bust. I'm having a mobile, it's not here, it's in Portland. I'm having a mobile mechanic go out and like do some tests and check it out, make sure it's good, and then they'll ship it out. But I don't even know why I told you guys, just because I feel like you're my friends, so I share that information with you. Cool. I'm gonna upload this super quick, probably tonight, maybe tomorrow, and then I'm going on a trip, and I'm filming another thing with Toyota. Actually, after this Ford video, they're gonna see my channel. I'm filming with Toyota, and they're gonna be like, 10 things I love about a F250. What's that all about? They won't. They don't talk like that either. But I'm gonna be filming another cool thing with Toyota next week. So that'll be fun. It's a crew that I've worked with in the past. I'll tell you more about it later, but it'll be sweet. I'll probably be posting on Instagram at Last Line of Defense, one word, if you're into it. Kind of some live stuff that I'm doing out there with them. And a lot of people will be asking. This is what they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, you want to do a project at it?" And I was like, "Oh, is it the new Tundra?" But it's not. It's not the new Tundra, unfortunately. So it'll still be cool. Check it out. I'll talk more on that later. I think that's it. That's it for announcement time. Oh, one more announcement. I'll be at Overland Expo West down in Arizona, Flagstaff. So that is, I think it's like the last weekend of September. So I'll be there walking around at the show the whole time. This truck will be at the Dometic booth. My Tacoma will be at the iCamper booth. I don't think I'll bring anything else, but those two will be there. I'll be cruising around. I'll also probably be posting where I am, like on Instagram, so just on my stories, so check that out. So looking forward to saying hey to you if you're down at Overland Expo West. And I always say this because a lot of people know me there, and I'm talking to people, and I always see people walking by looking like they want to talk to me, but they don't. They're shy, or they don't want to interrupt, or they don't want to butt in, or whatever. If you want to say hey, you want to grab a picture, whatever. I know that sounds like stupid. It sounds so weird. Like, you want to grab a picture with me? It sounds dumb, but people like that, and I like it too. So don't be shy. Come say hey. If I'm talking to somebody, feel free to interrupt. Sometimes it's just like a friend and I can talk to them whenever. So just interrupt, say hey, we'll snap a photo, whatever. Overland Expo West, Flagstaff, Arizona. Yeah, sweet. What would a video be if I didn't do a little rambling at the end, right? Okay, I think I said all my thumbs up, all that stuff previously. So if you're watching this far, you probably already saw it. So thanks for watching to the end. It means a lot. All right. Take care.